Uh, Thank you for getting us back in person, and I want to thank Committee Democrats for working with Committee Republicans to make what has been a pretty rough year and a half technologically better. And without that cooperation, it would have been those WebExes would have been more painful, though they were pretty darn painful. Look, I've said this for the last 2.5 years. Committee Republicans stand ready to work with Democrats to identify solutions that are thoughtful, data-driven, and will support and protect consumers. Today, I will repeat that, as I do at the beginning of every markup. Unfortunately, not one bill on the agenda today does that. Not one bill is a result of bipartisan committee work. Not one bill is based on witness testimony, demonstrating the need for legislative action. These bills are a grab bag of so-called solutions in search of problems. Take H.R. 3958, the bill to make the Central Liquidity Facility permanent. As the chair knows, Committee Republicans were prepared to support a 1-year extension of the NCUA Central Liquidity Facility. This was one of several regulatory relief provisions, including the CARES Act, and extended this past December to provide temporary and targeted relief. Now, all of a sudden, committee Democrats want to make this provision permanent without discussion or input from members. We have no data on the CLF's effectiveness or what the implications are in making this provision permanent. Moreover, has NCUA even asked for this provision to be made permanent? Not to my knowledge. So what's the point of this bill? Or H.R. 3968. I appreciate the gentleman's efforts here, but not once has this committee discussed the need to add municipal IDs to the Customer Identification Program guidance. If this is a pressing issue, we should have had a discussion regarding its importance and the problem it is attempting to solve. How do we know the impact this bill will have on the Anti-Money Laundering and Bank Secrecy Act programs that we just reauthorized last Congress? Will it jeopardize safety and soundness? Until we have those answers and more, this bill is premature. Or H.R. 3948. It's just another attempt to name and shame large banks, or the GSIBs. It will not make GSIBs more accountable. It will not help banks achieve greater financial inclusion for current and future customers. It does not foster innovative products and services, nor will it protect consumer data from hackers or cyber attacks. This bill is more of what we've seen all Congress. More mandates, more one-size-fits-all regulations that are intended to shame companies into complying with the left's progressive agenda. With respect to H.R. 2689, Committee Republicans support the goals of minority business development, the Minority Business Development Agency, which was established in 1969. However, there's limited data regarding the effectiveness of the program over the last 60-plus years. Committee Republicans believe more data is necessary to better understand the effectiveness of the program before expanding it and authorizing more than $100 million in appropriations for it. This committee should be looking at the effectiveness of the money provided over the last year to determine whether there are more effective ways to distribute funds to reach minority communities. Congress appropriated $12 billion to CDFIs and MDIs in the December Consolidated Appropriations Act, as well as additional funding for CDFIs and MDIs in the Paycheck Protection Program and for the Small Business Credit Initiative. All of these funding streams should be reviewed to determine their effectiveness in serving the communities they're intended to help. So we'll spend a day discussing these bills that do nothing to support our country's reopening or getting Americans back to work. But there is one bright spot, and I wrote to the chair today to express my appreciation for normalizing this committee's operation so we can better serve the American people, and I do appreciate that. However, as we move back to in-person operations, I would urge the chair to include Republican bills in these markups. Committee Republicans have been patient and accommodating as we work through the logistics associated with virtual and hybrid hearings and markups. However, now we're moving back to full capacity, and there is no reason we cannot work together to attach and mark up common sense Republican bills and solutions we have to offer. I ask that the letter I sent to the chair of Republican bills ripe for markup be inserted into the record. And with that, I yield back.